Hey guys, welcome to the YouTube channel. If you're new here, it's 𝗙𝗶𝗀𝗀𝗃. Thank you for coming. Guys, I just really want to appreciate you all the time, the new subscribers, the subscribers, everybody that's watching my content, my videos. It really means a lot to me. Thank you so much for supporting me. Thank you so much. Well, in today's video, these are some of the things that I would want some of my people from the diaspora to really know, especially if they're coming from someone that is from the diaspora. But I'll also add on some of the things that I can add on. So let's watch this clip and then let's talk about it.
I am just sitting outside enjoying the beauty of the continent of Africa. I am in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. So I just decided to do a video, and I wanted to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly on the continent of Africa, specifically Tanzania. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Where do I begin? Let me begin with the good. The good is Tanzania is a beautiful country. It is very tropical, very warm, very peaceful. The people are very kind and friendly. They say 𝗙𝗶𝗿𝗀𝗃𝗃, which is welcome everywhere you go. So I love that part about Tanzania. It is just a beautiful place. I feel at home, and I just love it, love it, love it. Another good piece of being here is the food. The food is very fresh and organic. Everything is natural, so I like that. And the living and the lifestyle is a bit more of a natural environment, in that you can just be who you was created to be. You don't have to wear makeup. You can just, wear your hair natural. You can just be who you were created to be. So I love that natural part of living here. Now, the bad. The bad is the fact that it's not easy to stay here in Tanzania. Immigration wise, it's very expensive, and also to try to sustain yourself is very difficult, because you have to try to find streams of income. You have to have online gigs or streams of income, and you have to do it online, basically, because unless you have a work permit, you're not really allowed to work here in the country unless you have a work permit. So it could be very pricey because work permits are not cheap. So that is kind of like the bad part. And also you must have a residency permit if you want to stay long term here. That is very pricey as well. The prices can range based on if you have a registered business, or if you don't have one, the prices are different. If you have a registered business with the Tanzanian partner, the prices are going to be different. But the prices are different for all the different stages that you are at here. Meaning, if you want to get a residency permit and you have a registered business, and or if you want to have one registered as a foreigner, and or if you want to just get one, it would all be very expensive. So yeah, that's kind of like the bad part, but it's just expensive to stay here. So I think that's why many people are leaving also, because it's a beautiful country, it's a beautiful place, the people are beautiful, but it's just many of us come here and we're middle class, some of us lower class, and we don't have a lot of money, so it's just very pricey to live here long term. So and then also paying rent 3 to 6 months. It's not always so easy to get a month-to-month lease, but it's possible. All things are possible when you can negotiate, but just for the most part, it's very pricey to be here. And then finally, the bad. The ugly. The ugly is a two-part ugliness. So the first ugly part is the fact that many of the locals, the Tanzanians, do not know who we are. So they kind of see us as just any average foreigner, which we are actually Africans. They don't necessarily see us as Africans all the time, especially if they know we're from America. Over here, they hear our accent, and we speak like English a certain way. Sometimes we're treated as foreigners, in that we're overcharged for items and things. And then also when we go to leave the country or whatever, we're asked kind of questions like, which is common for a foreign person to be asked, but it's still kind of ugly in the fact that we are still Africans, and we are the 6th region Africans, and we were dispersed over 500 years ago. So it is really disheartening and kind of sad and ugly to be kind of treated like and treated like a foreigner, like we don't belong here when we are African as well. No, we don't. We weren't born here, and we don't know exactly where we are, where our tribe is, and what area of the continent that we're from. But being that we're here in Africa, and to be treated or ask questions from fellow Africans, questions pertaining to like, why are we here, when are we leaving, like it's just kind of disheartening, guys. I'm just saying it's kind of ugly. It's a hurting feeling, but it is what it is. It's what we experience here. And also another ugly part of being here is the fact that how some of us as diaspora behave ourselves here. I have to touch on that. It is a sensitive subject, but a lot of times we come here to African countries with our toxic behaviors. That is not a good thing. That's the ugliness that I have noticed and experienced here on the continent of Africa. We're broken coming from the West, specifically from America. We're broken and abused and neglected and killed and murdered and disrespected in all kind of ways. And then we come here, and a lot of times we don't realize that we are toxic, and then we bring that behavior here to the continent, which makes the continent of Africans not really care for us, or not be so interested in dealing with us or working with us in business, and or even giving us good deals or good prices because of a lot of our bad behaviors. The unfortunate part is many of them don't know us personally, so they generalize. So if they see one, African American misbehave or rude or disrespectful or something like that, then they just group us all together and they assume that we're all that way when we're not. We're all different ages and we have all different experiences. So it is the ugly part of, from what I've experienced being here on the continent 1 year and 4 months, that's one of the ugliest parts of just being in this environment, living here on the continent.
As you've seen in the video, this is an African American woman and she's in Tanzania. I'm from Uganda. She's in the neighboring country next to Uganda, East Africa representation. Every time I see that you guys are coming in the continent, in the south, in the east, in the north, in the central, like it just makes me feel so happy and so good. I just want to say thank you for coming home and thanks for taking in the time to come home. Anyway, let me first with the good things that she says she loves about the continent, and that is the continent itself. She loves where she's living. She's loving Tanzania, and also she says she loves the people because people are very welcoming. They treat her well. They are very inviting, which exactly we are. I don't know why the media or the white media had to put a really barbaric image on us. It's just crazy. So I love that she pointed that out, and also the culture, that we are so much into our cultures. Yes, there's religion, of course, but we are so into also our culture as much. The food is organic, as the lady said. Yes, it's just amazing. People are so loving. Everything is amazing in its own way. It's unique. I'm not trying to hype you. I don't want to hype you. Don't come expecting to find, the promised land of Eden they gave you in the Bible. No, it's gonna have its bumps, its hills, its lows, but it's still going to be sustainable, because if we Africans can manage, what about you who even has a bigger currency? Because that also counts, and it gives you an advantage as a person from the diaspora into the continent. And on the bad side, this is something that I really want to put out. I don't really like when I see some videos of people when they're like, let's say for example the passport bros. I could put it together with the women and the men, especially the black people. When I saw a lot of videos where people were saying the people that are living the United States or leaving the diaspora to come into the continent were poor or mediocre people, which really doesn't make sense to me, because as a Ugandan, I've seen some of the people that come into Uganda And let me tell you, if you are from the diaspora, if you are an immigrant and you're coming from abroad to come into Uganda, it might be cheap in a sense of how you see it, but to really settle into Uganda, to really settle into the country, it's not that easy. So when someone comes on the internet and they want to put people down, that is cheap, it's just easy, you just go to the, let me say, the third world countries to pick people or to pick women or men, that it's easy. It's not easy and it's not cheap. So I just want to clear that out. That's something I'm not going to lie about. And also, she pointed about the thing where it's not really easy for the people in the continent to understand you as a person who is from the continent but not really from the continent. Because I always tell you, I'm sorry to say, but our generation of our parents and our grandparents, I'm sorry, but they really don't know anything. They really don't know anything when it comes to our ancestors. That's the blunt truth. So majority of the time, they are the people that you're going to find and you're going to ask them what they know about their history. Nothing. Zero. And that's the majority of Africans. So that's why I'm very lenient when it comes to the internet diaspora wars that happen. I'm like, but really, these things are on the internet. Majority of Africans don't even know these things. They don't even care about these things. Like, they just work to eat and have a normal day, like live a life. So it's really hard at some point where you guys from the diaspora are coming in the continent, and then our own people see you as foreigners. You're Africans, but they see you as foreigners, especially if you speak. Most times, if you are coming from Europe or America or any Western country, the moment people notice that you are sounding different, you are from a different country, prices are going to go up. It's not about a white or a black person. It's because of where you come from. The moment people hear an American accent, an European accent, because there's this narrative that American people are rich. There's this narrative that all European people are rich. It's not because they are black or white. The moment you have the passport of the Western world, people assume you have the money. I'm not trying to defend it, but that's how it is. Also, when it comes to our relatives, like I made a video previously about how when Africans go abroad or when we go abroad and then our parents see us as money, it's the same concept. The moment an African person gets on a plane and goes somewhere else, the family people, the community assume that person when they come back, they're gonna have money. So imagine if you are from the United States or Europe, we always assume you have money. And yeah, I don't know how we are going to work on that, because yeah, it's affecting people, like our diaspora people who are trying to come back in the continent. Honestly, I don't know how to solve it, but I can only talk about it. And then the last thing that she talked about is the behavior of the diaspora people when they come in the continent. I saw videos of African Americans coming into the continent in West Africa and some in East Africa, and how they were acting. The way you guys act in the Western world is different to the way we act in our African countries. So when you come into the continent and do something that is not in the norms of our society or community, people are going to assume that that's how everybody acts or reacts or behaves in the Western world. We just need to have these discussions. As I always say, I'm happy to have these discussions between us. I just want to say, guys, that it's not easy relocating from one country to another, but most importantly, it's really not easy to come into the continent. Don't come thinking everything is going to be cheap because you think a dollar is way much higher than African currencies. It might be higher, but as a foreigner, in a sense of you are from the West, by the government institutions, it's not going to be that cheap for you. It will be cheap, yes, but it's still not going to be easy for the ones that are still, earning low incomes. So I don't want you guys to come with a lot of expectations. You need to know the steps that are made for you to settle in the continent. And I wish the African Union, I wish African people could come together and raise awareness, because if we want you guys to come into the continent, then things need to be put in place, like the way Ghana is giving citizenship to yes, African Americans. I wish other African countries could do the same and maybe have dual citizenship where you stay with your American or European citizenship as well as the African citizenship. That would be so easy for us. And because we need your intelligence in the continent, we need your power in the continent, we need the knowledge of you guys in the continent. So this has to be a collective discussion. It just really makes me sad that you guys have to suffer that hard for you to be in your motherland or a place that was for your ancestors. I don't know how it will be solved, but it just needs to have discussions, and the more we talk about it, the more solutions will come. Also, teaching Africans about their true selves, because they don't know, especially the old generation. So if the old generation doesn't know their true self, imagine where we are standing as the new generation. And that's what I have to say about this video. Don't expect too much, but still expect a lot, because it is the motherland. So guys, thank you so much. That's it for today. Please comment and tell me what you really think. Are you ready to come in the continent? And if you are, what do you expect? Also, what do you want me to talk about? What would you want me to show you? And I'm thinking about showing you my series in my country. Tell me what you think, guys. Do you think I should do some vlogs showing you my country, Uganda? Because I'm thinking about it. Yeah, so that is it for today. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, support the channel. In case of any support, the links are in the bio. That is it for today. I'll see you in the next video. 𝗙𝗶𝗿𝗀𝗏. Bye.